Welcome to another episode Minecraft walkthrough guide um today to talk about the topics of last video. Okay. How farming works in Minecraft and how you have to wait for this wheat to grow all the way until it's completely yellow. And yeah. So let's just leave that alone for a while and go exploring. I'm gonna talk about the terrain of this game and how the game kind of generates itself. Well, let's start off with the most important part. Minecraft is a game that generates worlds randomly based upon a seed code. Seed codes work like this. Basically what happens is the world generates this code, and this code becomes one of the new codes that can be accessed by either typing it in or loading a save on this seed. So, if I was to look at the seed after going back to the main menu, then I would get the seed, and if I typed in that seed, well, put that seed in on the on a new creation world, then I would probably be able to spawn in here. Sometimes it doesn't work, you might get a digit wrong, but other than that, it pretty much always works. Several things generate randomly in these worlds, such as tree positions and area and biomes. For example, this is a forest biome. That is a dark forest biome. This is an ocean, but I think that one's obvious. There's a plains over there. Hills are also somewhat a biome, but not really. Some people consider them a biome, some others don't. But I'm going to mention the hills because some people do, in fact, consider the hills a biome. If we go up this hill, we can see a lot more of them. There's an entire forest of birch over there, but that's still a regular forest. Deserts also generate randomly. Saharas all the way off in the distance, you can see that. It's starting to get dark. But another biome that is a little bit more difficult to find because there's only one that spawns in every map is the mushroom biome. The mushroom biome most of the time is more like an island. So you either have to swim to it, build a bridge, or you have to build a boat. All three of these options work, but the most effective is building a boat. But the most effective after it's done happens to be to build a bridge. So there are ups and downs to both building a bridge and building a boat, but I would recommend building faster, but it will get you across the river within a short period of time after you begin crossing. Something interesting about the boats is that you can also drive them on land, which is the strangest thing I've ever heard, but it actually works. I've tried it before several times. In fact, I've even implemented it as one of the primary objects of some maps that I made. But yeah. So I'm gonna go in here, eat, and I'll continue to talk about the biomes and how they work and how Minecraft itself works whenever I wake up. Okay. As you can By the way, one thing that you might always want to remember is that, creepers are scared of cats. So taming an ocelot with fish, you can get a cat, and that will allow you to deter creepers. But I'm not really talking about that. It's just a useful fact that I remembered after looking at my dog. So, anyways, yeah. But the mushroom biome is extremely rare and has several things that are completely rare to that biome in it of itself. For example, there's one thing that's pretty rare to the biome itself is our mushrooms. And I don't mean like they're rare, but you could actually find a mushroom pretty much anywhere. It's just that it's extremely common to find a mushroom of either a red polka dot mushroom or one of these brown ones like the one up ahead in the mushroom biome. So finding a mushroom biome is actually very useful. So, and I'm gonna build a bridge here just because it kind of makes it easier. But yeah. Always carry around extra supplies. That's one thing you always have to remember to do. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit off topic by building these bridges. By the way, crouch building is one of the easiest ways to prevent yourself from falling off whatever you're building whenever it's something that kind of is diagonal or you're having a hard time placing a block. Crouch and go up to the edge and you will be able to place the block and just continue building like I'm doing now. But yeah. Each biome has its specific, layout. For example, we are in here's a dark forest, a really small one, but it's definitely here. Dark oak forests are usually pretty big, and the trees are usually bigger than regular trees. These ones aren't because it's such a small biome, at least here. But usually the trees are spread out like they are here, and you will find these samplings or whatever they're called, all over the place. And I'll just call them mini trees because that's what they look like. But anyways, so yeah, commonly they will be a little bit spread out but other than that it's pretty much spread out. This is a plains. Plains are the basic biome of the game. We spawned in one all the way back there at whenever I first spawned in and started this walkthrough. They are, as in the name, plain. Flat grass, nothing but just grass, dirt, and grass. Yeah. And you do often find flowers here. For example, I can see a bunch of roses. Sometimes there's a little bit more of a rare chance for this, but it's still possible to find yellow flowers. I can't remember what they're called, but they're yellow. You can find yellow flowers in these biomes. Seeing as I said some people call hills biomes in and of themselves, I'll go up this one and talk about it real quick. Hills are pretty much in their name. Hills and mountains are just in like you would think they are. They're flat. They're usually flat top and don't really have too much, except for minerals. Minerals are one of the most important things that you'll find on mountains, besides protection from mobs. For example, there's a lot of this material here. I think I actually have some of that. Let me mine it. There's some of this andesite. I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't judge. Coal is another common resource to find, and definitely a lot of granite and this. There's also a lot of cobblestone and dirt. The dirt isn't really a useful material, but it can be useful as just a block to carry around with you and place whenever you get to area that you have to cross, like I did back there at the bridge. Eventually I ran out of dirt and had to build it with wood. Next biome I'm going to talk about is that desert over there. Seeing as it's across the river, well, ocean, kind of, I guess I'll have to swim. Oh, and here's a waterfall. Yeah, another thing that's somewhat uncommon but still existent from mountains is sometimes they'll generate waterfalls. Most of the time it's really small and minor waterfalls, but they're there. And they're definitely existent. Wait a minute, what the heck is that? Probably nothing. Yeah, I bet that's just ground. Anyways, so this is what the desert biome looks like. One of the common materials that you'll find here that can be useful later is sugarcane. In fact, I'm gonna take this because the reason this material is so useful is because you can plant it and grow it into excuse me. You can grow it into and make food. Specifically, you can use it to make sugar, and paper. So, yeah. You will also find cactuses, whether it's 3 tall cactuses, 1 tall cactuses, or 2 tall cactuses. They're all the same. Don't really want to touch the cactuses because they will actually damage you over time. Another thing you'll find here are these dead shrubs. Absolutely worthless. Sand obviously is very common in these biomes, but like I said, very obvious. Next biome. These are, oh crud, I already forgot what I called it. But, yeah, you can just rewind the video if you want to know what I called these, because I can't remember what I called these. By the way, there's one of the yellow flowers I was talking about. They are called dandelions. How did I forget that? Anyways, so you find these saku trees, I think they're called. I don't really know how to pronounce it. One of the distinct ways to find these biomes is by looking at the ground. The grass is always a darker green color, and there's a lot more grass in these areas. So yeah, obviously you can see how much grass grows in those areas. Another area are come on, how am I forgetting the name of all of these? Well, I guess I'll just call them hoodoos, because that's something in real life that forms in them. Canyons, if you want to call, I guess you could call them. The good thing about canyons is that caves it kind of has its ground level set to the top layer, so the underground is basically the top layer of that area. And it's not because the ground is deeper, it's just because they made it to where that biome will actually just, be be more likely to spawn caves and mine shafts. So it's usually useful to find one of these early on. And this is so yeah. And another thing that's easy to tell is if you can see plains are common because they're the most, besides forests, they're the most abundant, and there's a creeper for you. And that is why you always watch your backs. So that's the demonstration of how a creeper works. I didn't even know he was behind me. So you always have to watch your back. Obviously, I wasn't paying attention, so because I'm doing a video. So I ended up getting blown up, and most of my house got the same. So, yeah. So, yeah. Of course, it doesn't do anything except for put them into a mode where if there's another dog nearby and you feed that dog, then you will get a baby dog. That dog will eventually grow up and be just like the rest. So, don't know what was wrong. I guess I have a lot of congestion today. Sorry about that. But